Hey guys, this is a video on how I'm going to become a trillionaire. First, I built $1 billion base of foundation. How do you build $1 billion foundation? Well, really, it's as simple as coming up with ideas, and you know, I built a business, $1 billion portfolio based on the simple idea that a good idea and something kind of like revolutionary can make billions of dollars. So in my future, what I have tucked away into my portfolio is billions of dollars worth of future projected profit and revenue, leading all the way up to $1 trillion. You have to tell the world what you want it to be. That's what it means to be a disruptive entrepreneur, is you go into the world and you tell it what it's going to be. You have to push your idea of a good time onto other people. Almost like kind of how peer pressuring, you could take the most square, normal, anti-drug person and you can get them to smoke weed if you make it look cool. Like when I smoke a cigarette, obviously the obvious answer is don't smoke cigarettes, but I had someone comment on a previous video what is it like to smoke cigarettes? I said, well, it's pleasure. It's a pleasureful sensation in the back of your throat. Every time you take a puff of a cigarette, it's like a hit of pleasure. Like a good bite of like some really good food or something like that. Well, you use that peer pressure to get people to buy your product. Maybe you do like demos and show people how it works and how to use your product. And you have to tell society what it's going to be. I can do that. Most people can't do that. But you can learn how. It's very simple. You notice how your kids are influenced by you, and they like to mimic and copycat off you, your mannerisms and your behaviors. Well, it's the same thing with selling a new product in the marketplace, is you have to tell the world what you want it to be. And you have to impose your will and you have to basically, whenever you introduce something new into society, you're basically helping create a new society. And you should always hope this society becomes better, right? Well, I'm very good at, I guess, like in these videos, I'm basically telling you who I am and what I am, and I have the information that I give in these videos, and I get a lot of subscribers, I get a lot of likes, I get a lot of positive comments, but it comes from a simple idea of you have like the baseline of psychology of humans, and you have to work within that base of psychology. The basic psychology of humans is, you can't be like, a weirdo or a freak and then tell society what it's going to be. Right? But if you're like a semi-normal person like me, I could easily sneak into your psychology and tell you what I want you to be. And, I'm not asking too much of a change in who you are, Basically, I come to you from the perspective of someone who has succeeded in a lot of ways. I provide value. I've learned how to speak to the psychology of the general humans, general population. And I want to reconstruct this idea of marketing, of how I've built, a lot of love over here on my YouTube channel. um, by basically telling you that I build, you know, I am a disruptive entrepreneur, but I'm very much a standard cookie cutter type of person. I'm very normal, you know. I think I speak to the general psychology of the masses, which means, you know, if you like me, you're more likely to buy something from me, and I am looking for people to contribute time or money into my company. Um, I'm looking for investors into my company, and I pay like a times two rate of return. So if my company is worth like 1.1 billion, and if you invest $1,000, you can expect $2,000 in return, because that's how equity deals work, you know. But I'm not going to offer you like times 10. But we can negotiate if you have like some extra money laying around. You know, it would mean the world to me to find an investor into my company. We could write up a contract and I'll pay you back as soon as we start getting money rolling through the door. So I have this $1 billion base, kind of like how in bodybuilding, before you take steroids, you should build a base foundation of muscle on your body. You know, me, I'm at that point right now where if I want to really get like a hell of a lot bigger, I got to start taking steroids. Um, you know, and that's just the thing is, you can't win all the time with every person, but you can win a good part of the time with most people. If you sell an honest product, all my products are honest products. So pretty much, I'm not that good at sales right now, but you know, if you can sell cigarettes to a human being, knowing that it's going to cause them to die someday, it's going to cause them cancer someday, you could sell like anything to anybody, you know. But cigarettes come along with the benefit of pleasure. But to build $1 billion base of assets and ideas and a business plan is going to propel me to over $1 trillion in net worth by the time I'm, you know, 50, or by the time I die. So anyways, let me try to pitch you guys a sales pitch to be an investor in my company. I have about $1 billion in assets, over $1 billion in assets. You know, it's a very simple exchange of value. You know, that once we get some sales moving in through the door, you'll be the first one to benefit from that. You know, and whether if you invest $1,000 or $1 million, you know, you'll get your money back. Don't worry about that, because I have the assets that if somehow for some reason something happened, you could always take me to court and get your money. And that's my sales pitch, is I can sell an honest product. So that's pretty much it. There's no dark, deep psychology trick that you can use to sell. It's a simple sales pitch. It's like, invest into my company, I'll double your money. It's that simple. I have that kind of money where I could double your money within about 4 years. You know, I get Social Security, which means that I'm always going to have some kind of money coming in regardless, and over $1 billion in assets, and I'm the CEO of the company. And if you have the money to invest, you should probably invest. You know, if you feel the inclination to invest, then invest. You don't have too much to worry about, because I could always sell my assets for like, you know, a few $100 million or $1 billion or a couple billion, depending on who's looking, you know. But me being the CEO of my company that's what pushes me over $1 billion. Because I'm the vision keeper, the vision holder, and the vision keeper of the future of the company. So that pretty much means that I know where the company's going, but the raw value of my assets might only be like 450 million. But knowing where we're going, I became a billionaire just the other day. We're going to do online Freemasonry. If you know what Freemasonry is a fraternity that I want to start expanding into like an online portal. That right there is a multi-billion-dollar company right there. Because it charges a yearly fee to be a member, you know. I have a lot of other ideas. I have about 10 key businesses that we're going to work on that each one is worth over 10, or most of them are worth over 100 million. Just the idea. And if you don't believe in me, if you want to leave a nasty, dirty little comment on my video, you know, go for it. You know, because I'm gonna continue to unveil the unveiling of my vision and my destiny is gonna prove that with or without investment, I would like to just do it myself. But if you watch this far into the video and if you feel like investing into my company, I'll double your money. And pretty much that's it. And that's how to do sales. Is you have to be, first of all, normal. And you have to speak to the base psychology of people. Is my sales pitch to get people to invest into my company is whether if you invest $1,000 or $1 million, I'll double your money. And if you would like to discuss terms and what assets I have, you know, to utilize, then leave a comment or send me leave a comment, you know, and I'll get you in touch with my private email. I'll put it to you this way, guys. You get a lot further in life by making good deals. You get a lot further by making good deals. Shitty deals will not get you very far. You know, God will not let you be successful in your endeavors if you're just out here ripping people off. That's what I believe in. I believe in honor, integrity. I believe in sacrifice. I believe in energy in equals attention and focus in the giving end of the equation equals output, a reciprocal output out the other side. What goes in must come back out. So if you try to make the world a richer place, you'll become richer. If you try to scam and rip people off, you'll find that you get the shit end of the stick. I know, because I used to sell cheap crap from China on the internet. For my first six-figure business, I used to sell on Amazon cheap crap from China. And I got so many complaints that they eventually shut down my Amazon store. And then I went through a whole bunch of shit. For like 5 years, I was dead broke and had to go on welfare. That to me was like a cause and effect type of, like, I could see like the cause and effect type of relationship between my actions before then and my results after then, you know. So I'm not hungry for investors. I could do it all by myself, But if you want to be a part of what I got going on over here, you can invest a couple hours a day. If you know how to code, that's especially valuable for me right now. I'm trying to learn how to code all by myself, and it's just not working. It's such a deep reservoir of like shit that you need to learn, such a deep like hole of like shit that you need to learn to be a good coder. I know the basics of coding, but whatever skill you have, if you want, I do hire 4-hour work days. So if you want to contribute something to my establishment over here, or I'll help you, make your dreams come true. It's always awkward asking for people to work for you when you're a business owner, because I don't feel superior to anybody else. I don't feel, even though I've got $1 billion, over $1 billion, maybe even a few $1 billion, I feel uncomfortable asking for people to work for me. So if you know people that need a job, a work from home job, let me know, and refer them to me, and right now it's an equity deal. So whatever salary you'll be getting from a job, I will double that with equity in my company, given over $1 billion valuation. I've got $1 billion worth of money sitting around, and if we chop that in half to like a $500 million pool of money that I can draw from, because I always keep 50% of my company. Whatever salary you're looking to get, I will double it with equity in my company. So let me know if you want to work. If you need a job, my mentality always is, I'm fixated on the finer things in life. I'm fixated on logic and the finer things in life. And I'm just one where I went out and I did not accept that life for myself. But if you're happy working a job making like 6 figures and you only have to work 8 hours a day, the system is corrupt. The system is corrupt. It's not my fault that I hire 4-hour work days. If you want to make a full-time salary working 4 hours a day, just let me know.